He's crushed the government's rent. It's a total conflict for bureaucrats. Let's break it down.
From the property tax situation. It's very important, given how that's pinched so many homeowners, particularly our senior citizens who have their homes paid off and they bought it 30 years ago for a certain amount. Now they're being told it's worth so much more and they have to pony up more and more money. It's almost like they have to pay rent to the government just to be able to enjoy their property. And that's wrong. And we need to do something about it.
Think about it. For generations, you've been told that if you work hard, save up, and pay off the bank, the house is finally yours. Wrong. The system has been holding that dream hostage for years, demanding a tribute that never ends. Even when the mortgage is dead and buried, and the ink is long dry on your deed, the state still sits there like a silent, greedy partner in your living room. DeSantis looked at this broken machine and finally decided that enough is enough. By pushing to completely wipe out property taxes on primary homes, he's cutting the legs out from under a setup that has been kicking seniors to the curb, people who spent 40 years building a life only to be taxed out of it in their twilight years. This isn't some minor policy shift. It's a rescue mission for your property rights. In this economy, where inflation is picking your pocket every time you go to the grocery store, those rising tax bills are a constant heavy weight on the neck of every working family. Florida is now the front line. It's about making sure that when you buy a home, you actually own it. Period. The governor's being blunt here. He's calling the current setup a form of state-sponsored dependency, and he's ready to tear it down so the American household can actually survive. Don't think for a second that the path to economic freedom is going to be easy. As we head toward that 2026 ballot measure, the local gatekeepers are already circling the wagons and mobilizing. They're terrified. The critics are already screaming about a total collapse of local revenue, crying that $900 million might vanish from the coffers of just one county. They'll try to scare you with stories of crumbling schools and rotting roads. But you have to ask yourself, is the real tragedy a smaller government budget? Or is it a grandmother losing her life savings to pay for a tax that never ends? To win this, Florida voters have to hit a 60% supermajority. That's a massive hill to climb. It's going to take a total grassroots surge from people who are sick and tired of being treated like tenants on land they already bought and paid for. The establishment is going to use every dirty trick in the book to kill this momentum. But the movement for tax-free home ownership is only getting louder. This is a cold, calculated play to force the government to finally live within its means, instead of forcing you to live in fear of a tax lien. Whatever happens in Florida rarely stays there. It serves as a beacon for the rest of the republic. If DeSantis pulls this off and actually frees your home from the taxman's grip, it's going to change everything about how Americans view their relationship with the state. We're watching the start of a total takedown of the tax and spend culture that's been running local politics for a century. Homeowners in every other state are leaning in and watching closely. They see the bureaucrats panicking in Florida, and they recognize that same greed in their own hometowns. This isn't just some spreadsheet battle. It's about the security of your family. When you take away the state's power to kick you out of your own shelter, you take back your sovereignty. The only casualties here will be the bloated budgets and the useless programs that have been fat and happy on your dime for far too long. As we look toward 2026, the question isn't whether we can afford to kill these taxes. The real question is, how much longer can we afford to keep them ending?
This report is complete, but the fight is just beginning. Subscribe now to stand with us.